Nobody's coming to save you. If you're going through life waiting for somebody to come along and pick you up and say, come on, this is exactly how you do it. This is every single step of the way that you need to take. You'll be waiting forever. It's down to you and you alone to take that uncomfortable action to go after what you truly want in life. So I'm going to tell you a little story now about COVID 2020 and me quitting my one and only unfulfilled day job of over 13 years. So I'd only have one job my whole life, and I was a car mechanic. I was fixing cars, vehicle technician. It was a good job. Society says it paid the wages, it paid for my mortgage, it paid for my holidays. And people looking in from an outsider's point of view saw me living this life, saw me having a mortgage at 20, 21 years old. And they were saying, yeah, you got a safe, secure job. You know? So I'd always said for a long time now that I was going to quit my job. But I'd never do it because of fear. Like, I always let fear hold me back. Fear of uncertainty, fear of, say, not earning an income, fear of what do I do? I wasn't too sure what I'd want to do. So I say to anyone, never let your wage be your cage, because the thought of not receiving an income would have kept me trapped in that job for the rest of my life. And it brought me no sense of joy, purpose, meaning or fulfillment. And it was COVID and being pushed by, say, mentors of mine and people that were, say, a level up above me to go after what I truly wanted in life. So let me take you back to the start of 2020. We all know that COVID kicked in and shut the world down. So back in 2020, I challenged myself to visit 20 countries throughout 2020. And I went to one country, I went to Rome at the start of 2020. And then after that, COVID wiped all of my travel plans out. So throughout that year, I was still working, but I took, I think, 2 months off of work because of the COVID situation. And that really gave me some thinking time to have this unique opportunity to really think what I truly wanted in life. And for me, I realised that I've been living this life that wasn't true for me, and I let fear hold me back for so long. So the rest of 2020, I was still working in that job, and I'd tell people, friends, family members, mainly my mum and dad, mainly my dad, and it was on a daily basis. I'd be saying in my dad's ear, I'm going to quit my job, Dad, I'm going to quit my job. And you're saying, you're mad, you're stupid, you can't fly anywhere, you can't do this, you can't. And every day I was going to my dad, I'm going to quit my job. And my dad was just getting annoyed with it, in fairness. And it got to 2021 and I hadn't quit my job. So the whole year I talked about it. As much as I was putting content out online, I was still working in a full-time day job. So I realised that I wasn't progressing. And it's progress that equals happiness. Like, if you're flatlining in life, you're actually going down because time's going to pass by anyway. So if you're not growing, you're dying. And I was dying inside because I wasn't progressing. So 2021 come around and I literally got challenged to quit my day job by a guy that I'd only just met online, and he gave me 1 week notice to quit my job. So bearing in mind, I've been saying for a whole year now to my dad mainly that I'm going to quit my job. But it got to that day, that Friday, when I actually went in on the Friday and I said to my boss, can I have a conversation with you later? And then he said, yeah, it's fine. And we sat down that evening. And I said, look, I don't know how to say this, but I quit my job. And I had all this fear, anxiety built up inside of me of what I thought was going to happen. And it was actually the total opposite. And he was really supportive and really friendly towards me as well, which was very comforting, I guess. And it took all that fear away of, wanted to speak to him that evening. So I remember when the day before, I remember when I went home the day before and I was planning to quit my job. I went back to my parents, where I was staying at the time, And I sat down on the sofa and my dad was watching the football. He loves football, and my mum was just sat there, and they saw I was a bit sort of nervous to speak to them, and my mum was saying, "What's wrong? What's up?" I said, "I really need to tell you something about tomorrow," and they're looking at me like, "What's wrong with him?" And then my dad's just focused on the TV. He's watching his football, and I'm thinking, "Dad, just watch me, just watch, Dad, like just look." And they're going, "Come on, say what you got to say." And I was like, "I'm going to go to work tomorrow, I'm going to quit my job." And there was just silence, and my mum's like, "Well, yeah, you can do what you want to do, like, just do what you think's right, but I'm just worried for you, like, I'm worried, like, you make the wrong decision, this, that and the other." And I was just panicking inside, because my dad wasn't saying anything, he was just watching the football. So I'm thinking, "Come on, Dad, like, say something." And bearing in mind, my dad is my best mate, he's my best friend, and he's the reason why I'm here today. He's the reason why you're hearing my voice. Because if it wasn't for my dad for telling those doctors, "No way are you turning that machine off," my life would have been ended. So thank my dad for me being here. So my dad's my best mate, and I was just hoping my dad was going to turn around and be supportive. Say, "Yeah, come on, son, come on, Ryan, you can do this, mate. I got your back." Give me a little pat on the back and say, "Yeah, come on, mate, you got this," and all that sort of stuff. There was just silence. And I looked at my mum, and then I looked at my dad, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to quit my job. Going to quit my job tomorrow, Dad." And he just turned around, and he went, "Well, stop fucking talking about it and just fucking do it." And I just looked at him, and inside I just literally died. I just crumbled, my heart sank, and I just went. And it was the total opposite to what I thought was going to happen. And I remember I was a 28-year-old man at the time, last year, and I remember I walked up into my bedroom and I just burst out crying. And I sat on the bed there and I cried my eyes out. My dad, my best mate, said this to me, and I thought, why would he say that to me? He's my best mate. Like, my dad should be cheering me on, giving me a pat on the back, saying, "Come on, Ryan, you got this." Total opposite. And then my mum come upstairs and she saw I was crying and she's saying, "Oh, come on, come on." And then my dad come up and my dad said, "Look, I'm sorry, mate," and all this. And he tried to talk me around. And I said, "Dad, it's done now, it's done." And it's not like we fall out. Me and my dad are best friends. But in all honesty, at the time, as much as it didn't break my heart, but it really made me feel shit inside, gave it 10 minutes, and I sort of thought about it, and I thought, you know what? He's right. He's right. That's the best thing that anyone could have said to me in that moment, you know, because I spent one whole year talking about it. And in life, there's 3 types of what I call ATs. There's action talkers, action thinkers, and action takers. And I was just talking it. I was talking a good game. And my dad was like, "Just fucking do it." So many people go through life talking how they should do this and do that, but they never take action. You need to take that uncomfortable action. You need to pull that trigger. Because many people are just living life on ready, aim, fire, and they get caught on the aim part and they never take action. You need to switch that up to be ready, fire, aim. You need to prepare yourself, get ready, pull that fucking trigger, take action, and then you navigate as you're moving along the road, along the pathway, you know, because an object in motion usually stays in motion. So once you get going, that's the hardest part, is to get going, to take the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. So take that first step. You don't even need to know what the next steps look like. One step. You'll figure it out. So for me, it was like, shit, I need to listen to my dad. So the next day, I went in there and, yeah, like I say, I quit my job. And wow, what a relief of pressure that was on my shoulders. That I built up all this anxiety in my mind. But I just need to say to anyone that's listening, you know, in life, you need to be your own best cheerleader. You need to be your own biggest cheerleader, because nobody, and I repeat, nobody is coming to save you. No one's going to come along and say, "Come on, mate, yeah, this is how you do it. Come on, I'll show you every single step of the way." No one's going to do it. Everyone's got their own lives to live. They don't really give a shit about your life as much as people say they do. They give a shit about themselves more than you know, like, and that's the way it should be. Like, you should care about yourself more than anyone else in the world. And I don't care anyone that says disagree with that. You need to look after number one. My granddad said it the best. Always look after number one. Because if you're not 100%, you can't look after anyone else. You can't help anyone else. So no one is coming to save you because they're living their own lives. You need to take action. You need to know exactly what you want in life, where you want to go, and then you need to take those steps on a daily basis. And just know that direction is way more important than speed. People think that you need to go 1,000,000 miles per hour. You could be going 1,000 miles per hour in the wrong direction. Make sure that ladder of life is put up against the right building before you start to climb up and get through that top window. You need to make sure you're going in the right direction. And you need to take consistent daily action, even if it's just small steps, because the compound effect will build and build and build. Like building a house. What do? You don't look at it and it builds itself in one day. No, you focus on the foundations and then you build on them foundations on a daily basis. You build one layer, the next layer. All you're doing is focusing on laying that one perfect brick every day. One brick, one brick, one brick. Get it as good as you can get it and then on to the next, you know. So don't ever let someone decide, design, determine or dictate your destiny, because there's so many people out there that's going to say to you, look, you can't go after what you want. You can't achieve that. It's not possible. You haven't got the right knowledge. You haven't got the mindset. You haven't got the experience. Don't ever let someone who either was too scared to go after or who gave up on their dreams talk you out of achieving yours. Because this is your life. This is your one and only life. And it's down to you to make the most of it and become the very best version of yourself. So don't ever let someone tell you what you should do with your life, and don't let someone's limited thinking limit your actions, you know. Because so many people with these limited mindsets are saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. If someone's limit is here, you're never going to achieve this. You're never going to achieve Maserati dreams with a Mazda mindset. So if you want to achieve big, big goals, you need to upgrade your mindset first. You need a big mindset. You need big goals. And then you need big actions that are going to back those goals up that you want. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But the best things in life are the most difficult to get. And that's why most people aren't going after their dreams, you know. So you need to take that daily, consistent, uncomfortable action. And in repetition, show up every day. And just know it's not practice that makes perfect. It's practice makes progress and eventually makes permanent. Because so many people say, oh, you need to practice and it makes perfect. No, it doesn't. Perfect doesn't exist. Perfection does not exist. And why would anyone want to be perfect anyway? Because that means there is no more room for growth. If you're not growing, you're dying, like I said earlier. So just know what it is that you want and show up every single day. Take steps towards that goal, because, like I say, people, we only got one life. And I know what it feels like to be on your deathbed. They wanted to pull that fucking trigger on me. They wanted to pull that plug. I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for my dad. We've got one life. Why wouldn't you take all of that uncomfortable action? Because I'm telling you, if you was born and you got a birth certificate and they give you a death certificate as well, and you knew exactly your day of death, would you be doing what you're doing today? Or would you say, you know what, I'm going to try what I want to go after. I'm going to take that action today. I'm going to move that one step towards the life that I want to live. I'm sure you would, because I would too. If I knew that I was going to die in a week's time, a month's time, a year's time, oh my God, I don't even know what I'd do. I'd take even more action than I'm taking now. And it is scary to go after what you want. It's so scary. It's the most scariest thing. But let me tell you, it's going to be the most rewarding thing that you could ever imagine. And it's not even about receiving that end goal, because the reward is the journey and not the destination. So let me end on this one. The moment you realise the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of change is the exact moment your actions will overcome your anxieties.